Hey, what's happening? Before we jump into the show, I wanted to see if you had any music on a hard drive. You have a band, you have a project, and you want to self-release your own music. Well, there's an easy way to do it. You can go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate and go get your music up on all the streamers. You keep 100% of your royalties, and you can get 30% off by using this code. It's a great, easy way to get your music up on the streamers and share it with your fans, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, everybody. Everyone wants to hear it. But go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate, HYPHENATE, and send me the link. I want to hear it too. Send your mom the link. Send your dog the link. They all want to hear it too. We'd like to thank our sponsor, iZotope, the absolute leaders in intuitively designed plugins for audio restoration, mixing, and mastering. At iZotope.com, you'll find a plethora of tools and suites that will enhance your audio production, whether it's voice, video, podcast, or a full production recording session. Check out the industry-standard audio repair tool, RX11, or the multi-tool mixer plugin, Neutron 5, or the powerful Ozone 11 mastering suite, plus tons more. Go to iZotope.com and use the code FRET10 at checkout for 10% off. That's FRET10 to get 10% off at checkout. And again, the website is iZotope.com, IZOTOPE.com. What's happening? Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime. This is our show for Monday, November 10th. With me, as always, my trusted compatriot and co-host, Mr. Aaron Farley. How you doing today, Mr. Aaron Farley?
Welcome to Trusted Content. Trusted, valuable content.
Relatable.
Sorry, relatable content. Relatable. Trusted, relatable content.
I don't know if we're trusted, yeah, but I wouldn't trust us.
Since 2023.
I think it's 2022.
2022?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
these halfway
these years are just flying by.
I know. Yeah, well, it's funny. My wife and I, once we had kids, or as we were getting older after we got married and stuff, is we found ourselves like, you know, that TV show that we thought was stupid about families and kids and old people. Like, it's kind of makes more sense now. It's more relatable. So then this is relatable content. Like whenever we find ourselves watching something we wouldn't normally think we'd watch, like, well, it is
Matlock.
It's relatable content. This is things that we can relate to now that we could not relate to in our 20s. Modern Family did not make any sense to a single man living out of a backpack on the road. But now a married man with two kids and siblings and parents and grandparents, like now it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, Modern Family hits hard.
Yeah. We're deep in the Young Sheldon verse. We did not watch The Big Bang Theory, but our kids
you froze. Hold on.
They enjoy watching the family drama of it.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, you're back.
Anyway,
You were frozen
Young
for
Sheldon
a second.
has become. Oh, it's okay. Young Sheldon. I was just saying, Young Sheldon has become a big family thing. I think we're rushing through. There's 7 seasons, and I think we've been watching it for a few months, and we're almost done with the whole series.
Young Sheldon.
Yeah, it's good. God. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought it, but 22-minute family dramas. It's good. I don't know. The kid. I'm just always shocked. You know, our youngest is 6, and if he can watch anything that isn't like YouTuber or animated, anything that has people in it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Let's watch this.
Yeah, you focused for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Insane.
This is great. Yeah, no, 22.
Yeah.
We all watch it together and we all laugh and you explain what the 80s were, or the 90s, I guess in this case. Like, yeah, it was like that.
we did that with Modern Family for sure.
Yeah.
We got through the whole, however many episodes there are, or seasons, probably 10. I don't know.
Whoa.
That was COVID for sure.
Year. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched all those. And then the other one was oh God. Okay. What was it? It was like a kid. It's a guy who has the same name. Oh man, I'm gonna mess this up. Let's see if you can guess this.
Okay.
It's like the character has the same name as a guy who's a comedian. It's like a Jewish guy. Oh my God, my cat just decided to destroy my whole office the second that I turned the microphone on.
He's not a fan of
It's like
Seinfeld. Is this Seinfeld you're talking about?
knocking over jars.
Like, you're talking about Seinfeld. God. How could you not remember Seinfeld?
My brain is dead. I won't even try to figure it out.
Okay.
It was basically about a kid growing up in the 60s, 70s, maybe the 80s. And but it was very much, I was like, oh, this show. And then we just got so into it.
Who was in it?
I was like,
you don't know any actors?
I don't even remember. My brain's dead right
Okay,
now.
it's a mystery.
I did not get enough sleep last
out there.
night.
If you are,
I'll start looking it up.
Listening to us, write to hyphenatehalftime@gmail.com and tell us what show is it that Aaron Farley is thinking of that has a Jewish comedian's name that could have taken place in the 60s, 70s, or 80s.
I think what it was is the guy who wrote it has the same name as a guy who's like an actor. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. Let's see.
Yeah.
There was the one guy who was an actor. I think he was in, what was the war movie that Tom Hanks was in? Band of Brothers or something? Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
He was an actor that was in that.
Okay.
And he's also kind of in the LA art type scene. Like he might be friends with Mark Maron.
Okay.
Like I feel like
yes.
You know who this is, right?
Yes.
You know who this guy is? He's a little nasally and he's kind of funny, but he's a little
Dazed and
annoying.
Confused.
Yes, totally. Okay. So the guy who wrote the guy who wrote this show had the same name. By the way, this is how my brain works, and it's why I don't get anything done. Because I remember
Adam
like
Goldberg. The Goldbergs.
Yes. The Goldbergs.
There we go.
Yes.
Perfect.
That didn't take that long.
No, that was easy.
We got really into watching the Goldbergs.
Okay, great. And that has Jeff from Curb Your Enthusiasm. And it is an 80s show. Yeah. Is it relatable? Is that relatable content?
It was really good. Yeah.
Oh,
relatable content with the kids. To sit and watch with the kids. Totally.
Amazing.
But I remember that the guy who wrote it's name is also Adam Goldberg.
But it's not Adam Goldberg.
No, different guy. And then people would always be like, "Oh my God, I love that show that you wrote."
Oh, to the actor Adam Goldberg.
To the actor Adam Goldberg.
Oh, man.
And then I just remember that
he had a hit ABC TV show.
Well, that there was some online beef. I remember there being like, "Oh, that guy's a dick" or whatever. Yeah.
Because they're thinking of that, saying about the actor, because he wouldn't take a compliment when you compliment.
No, the actor was saying. No, this actor was saying that about the guy who wrote it.
Oh, okay. I know nothing.
Or something.
Allegedly.
I love drama. I love a little internet drama.
Oh, it's great. Well, yeah, we could talk. We're here to talk about last week's interview with Mark Leadon from the UK. I don't know if you could tell by his accent that he was British. Yeah,
totally. It was awesome.
So this interview was so funny. He wrote me on Facebook. I think he's maybe a few years older than I am, maybe a few years older than you are. But he wrote me on Facebook, which again is the platform for old people, and he pitched his book and himself to talk about his book. But it was in such a way where I'm like, what is it? What are you talking about? Like, okay, you wrote a book about Ramones tribute bands. And then it hit me in a way where I think I was sleepy enough or tired enough. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I don't know. Let's talk about it. There could be something here. This could be interesting. And then as soon as we started talking, of course, and then, as some interviewers of a certain age, the Riverside app that we use, the Riverside website we use, can be slightly complicated. So we had to take it to Zoom. I think the last couple interviews I've done with people above a certain age, men of a certain age, they have to go to Zoom because Riverside's too crazy. So this one was done over Zoom.
Okay.
And I just laughed the whole time. I just kept thinking, like, I think I said it in the intro, I was like, like as I was listening back to the interview and editing it and stuff, I was like, this sounds like a long Fred Armisen character. Like or you know what I mean? Or if this was a character of a comedian wanted to talk about inside punk history with a very thick British accent. Like, I felt like this was a put on. Like, is this a real person, or is this like a Bill Hader, Fred Armisen sketch, like character?
It definitely.
The whole time I was talking to him, I imagined that in my mind, because of course we couldn't get the video working because it was Zoom just all the things. So I'm just talking to this voice, and I love how he got such a kick out of the way I said cretin, because he said cretin. And like, I can't do a good British accent, but he could hear the California in my accent. He was getting a kick out of my accent as a California accent. So
It's so funny,
It was
man.
hilarious. I don't know. I found myself laughing the whole time. I was like, I don't know if I'm laughing at the right parts of this interview, but I'm into it. Like how many
I think it's
names,
okay.
how many
I think
names of
it's like
Ramones bands could you
I
list
think
off
they're
in a British accent?
I think I think that those are the moments that need to be on the internet. I mean, because
This is what podcasts were designed for, right? People with different sounding voices talking about very niche subjects.
Yeah, very niche, but also like that's like maybe you could do that with Kiss tribute bands too.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure there are many of those.
Like write a book about it, but then in like how does it? Have you seen the book, or is it?
No, I don't.
Like
I don't have a copy of it. I think he sent me a PDF file of it. You know, like a digital version of the book.
But I'd be interested to see how it is like like if it's actually tied into the actual Ramones. Like it's like a historical book, but done through.
I think it's really about the bands, as far as I could tell.
Interesting.
And what era of the Ramones they do, and what's their take on it, and because I think, but again, I am not very well versed in the tribute band world. I think it's a very serious world. You know, I mean, where these bands, and I think some of them make a lot of money. Maybe not the Ramones ones necessarily, but some of these, you know, and I guess we won't call them cover bands anymore, but we call them tribute bands.
Tribute. Yeah,
and I think they can do very well. But I put it in that like those subheadings with like worship music, which is like church music. But again, if you're I fall down so many guitar nerd rabbit holes that I find myself, I don't even care about the genres of music that people play. I just love, reading stuff about guitars and guitar pedals and amps and reviews and things. And I find that the worship people, the worship musicians, have a lot of opinions and a lot of money about, and so when they talk about gear, they can give reviews of this expensive boutique gear and talk about how they use it. So I use that, I take it all with a grain of salt, and to understand that, okay, well, for their tiny church they need or for their big church or whatever kind of size church, but they need modelers, like not real amps. They can't have real amps on stage, but they want to get this like Stevie Ray Vaughan tone out of these digital simulators, and and they need the most comfortable straps and the smallest, pedal board they could find with the most multi effects in there. And so there's a wealth of information online about equipment reviews by these musicians.
Yeah, like a $4,000 PRS.
Mm-hmm, of course, you need one of those.
That has the like little cross inlays on the fretboard.
I mean,
Jesus died for my shred.
It's a big category in there. I'm sure it would be interesting if Sweetwater has this data, or Guitar Center or Reverb or Chicago Music Exchange or any of these big online retailers. I imagine Sweetwater for some reason specifically feels like a worship guitar music retailer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I imagine like 80% of their sales are to people in worship bands, because there's a way where you can say, you can justify spending the money. Like, well, babe, I got to buy this $8,000, speaker because it's for God. God wants me to have this vintage Les Paul. I need this in order to worship God. So it's cool, right?
Also, I mean, I think that if you really think of, the worship music, whatever it is, the hustle of all hustles.
Oh, can you write it off for taxes, or you don't have to pay taxes on it because it's religiously,
because it's affiliated? So because a church is basically a nonprofit. It's like functions as a nonprofit, right?
Most bands are nonprofits or non-profitable.
Yeah, they just don't make.
They're not registered as nonprofit organizations.
Yeah, they're not a profitable endeavor. But when you have the nonprofit, right? Like every dollar that comes in, you have to spend it on inside the place, right? So you're not allowed to just keep. I mean, you could keep your money, but then you can't, like, if you're paying someone that works at the church as a job, like they're going to pay the taxes, right? But you're not getting taxed on your income as a business. And so then he's like, well, I mean, we have an extra $4,000 Ask Bobby what kind of guitar he wants.
Well,
this money just keeps rolling in.
That's a big thing on the used music gear market. I see a lot.
Oh my God.
Like stuff that was from a church,
PAs,
and it's like 2 years old, and it just got replaced with an even fancier one. So this very
God, LED
fancy,
screens.
Yeah, lots of not very old gear that's expensive can be sold at a cheaper price used, because they're constantly upgrading and probably need to use the money, to reinvest into their tech or whatever it is. And so you can find it used. There is a lot of like that church. Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. This was played every week, 1 day a week for the last 2 years. So it's, but, and again, for a gigging or for touring musician, that's nothing, so there's hardly any time on this equipment. But you can
people
find it out there, racks of gear, old stuff. Sometimes it's really old and they get updated again. Not to.
I guarantee there's a guy at the church every time that wants to start a recording studio. And guess what? A church usually has a lot of extra space and a bunch of rooms that don't
probably
get used.
Good acoustics. Yeah, good reverb in there.
Good acoustics.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, the tribute world and the worship world, I feel like, again, because in the tribute world, you need specific gear to kind of get that, you can justify your gear nerdiness, your gear porn addiction of,
oh my God,
I need this exact kind of thing, these pickups, this thing, because you're going after a specific sound, and a band like the Ramones, have eras. So I could see how a band would want to do, okay, we just do this era. So you get your equipment, you get your wardrobe, your hair, everything you do, this one thing.
I mean, it's a matter of a couple $1,000s to be authentic, the most authentic tribute band. I mean, so the funny thing is, we have a whole season, because I live in the freaking mountains. We have a whole season of tribute artists. So we have at Lake Arrowhead, at the Village, every weekend of the summer for, I think it's 10 weeks, maybe, there's a different tribute, like a different night, and they book the bands. It'll be like Fleetwood Crack and Van Scalen and, or Diver Down or whatever, whatever they name. But it's the same bands every year, most of the time. And then you'll have how you're getting old is when they start playing, like there's tribute bands for the music that was new when you were in like your 20s. And so now they have like an early 2000s, like the Killers and all of that, like radio, like MGMT, Killers, like all that stuff. And and then that band will open up for like the Van Halen band, and then the Van Halen, and then the Guns N' Roses tribute will close out. And it's great.
That's amazing.
We would go a couple times when the kids were younger, and we're like, oh my God, we need something to do up here in the evening, and we want to just go have a beer and hang out and somewhere where the kids can run around. And you'd just go up there, and it would be like a full like Guns N' Roses tribute, but the 3 different stages of Axl. So it would be like long hair Axl for the old stuff, and then they'd get into late stage with the catchers, like the catcher's uniform and the Nirvana hat, whatever. Oh. But they'd move from stages, and like, all right, we're gonna take a break, and then they'd come back and be dressed in like different gear and stuff. But it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
and then those bands would play down
songs, and if the band sounds like the songs you love, then there you go. I just found
I guess Riverside County.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
I was going to say Riverside County has like a full like tribute band circuit that's huge, like that goes all the way down to Temecula and all that, and like the wineries and everything, and then back up and here and Big Bear and all the what's it called, like Santa's Village up there, Sky Park. They do like weekend things too, and all those bands make a ton of money. I mean, this is like 400 people show up.
Sure. I just found an article on basechat.co.uk, tribute bands where the name is better than the band.
Oh my God.
There was was a mariachi cover band called Bon Jovi. Pretty good.
Yes.
Led Zeppelin, where they're lesbians playing Led Zeppelin music.
Okay, that makes
sounds
sense.
good.
That tracks.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like they could just dress just like Led Zeppelin and it would be fine.
yeah. Well, I remember we played a festival one year where the real band Heart played, Barracuda
Yeah.
but I feel like half their set, or at least the part that we were watching or that we walked by or we could hear from our dressing room, I think they do like 10 to 20 minutes of Led Zeppelin songs.
Yeah.
And the woman's voice sounds just like Jimmy Page did, in the 70s. Like she can still
Robert
she still has
Plant.
that Robert Plant. She still has that high register. And
Yeah.
it sounded
Oh
great.
my God, I've heard her
probably sound more
play
like
a
Led
couple
Zeppelin
Led
than if
Zeppelin.
those guys, the original
I
Led Zeppelin guys,
don't know why. It was probably back in the day on the Howard Stern show or something.
What's that?
And I heard that her play a couple Zeppelin songs on.
Oh, okay.
It was probably on Howard Stern or something.
It's incredible.
And it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some? Seems like it's a big thing in the UK as well. There's a lot of UK
tribute acts.
Names here. Oh yeah, Mac Sabbath. I've seen them. They're like the Black Sabbath tribute band that has they all dress up like McDonald's characters. It's like Ron McDonald's a singer, like Grimace is on bass, I think.
Oh
and
my
then
God,
like
that's
the Mary McCheese is on guitar.
Like, do you get because so my uncle used to be in Beatles tribute, but it was only Sgt. Pepper era.
Oh, okay.
And so they would wear the costumes that were on the outside of the like the conductor costumes, and they would play these big like the county fair and stuff in Corvallis, Oregon. Like, I mean, this was 30 years ago. And then they got sued because for not paying royalties.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to. It was enough. It was enough that they had to not play anymore because they were like, we can't pay like the royalties. This is crazy. Like, how much do you want us to charge for tickets for the fair? Like, we're not getting paid a huge amount. It's basically like Halloween, and they're playing all these amazing Beatles songs, but they weren't able to do it. So I'm wondering if these tribute bands, like, do you have to pay? Is it like karaoke where it's like the karaoke songbook has to pay the artist like a small fee, like it gets paid?
I guess there's probably some kind of
like radio royalties
things.
Or something?
Yeah,
publishing
I
royalties?
would imagine. Yeah, if the venue has a deal with an ASCAP or BMI or something, they probably have to submit the playlist, and they get a portion of
for
that.
tribute acts.
I guess so. Yeah. Oh wait.
Yeah,
there's
so
one
weird.
Oasis.
Because I wonder
Oasis-ish.
with all of this, like
That's good.
how are these tribute
Not quite
bands?
Oasis, Oasis-ish. They're the Red Hot Chili Pipers. They're like a drum and pipe band, like a bagpipe band. Play Red Hot Chili Peppers song on bagpipes.
And it still sounds just like Anthony Kiedis's vocals.
I would guess so.
Like you just have a horn playing his vocals, and it just sounds the exact same.
The AC/DC cover band called ABCD. That's probably good for kids.
Oh, there's ACD She, right?
Oh.
That was in LA.
Was that one? Okay.
They were in LA, right?
Great.
It was all women AC/DC cover band.
Oh,
ACD She.
Nirvana, like Nearvana, Nirvana.
I did see a Nirvana cover band once in LA at Spaceland, of all places.
Oh, really?
Man,
wow.
my
I like that. Oh yeah,
my
ACDC.
Riverside keeps,
there we go. All ladies. Yeah.
My Riverside
are you
keeps
getting
like
screwed up?
stopping, and then
it
stopped for like 10 seconds, and then it'll start back up. So I don't know what I'm missing.
Okay, well, I'll edit it together.
You can.
I'm gonna turn my camera off. Maybe try turning your camera off and see if that goes a little smoother.
Okay.
But I always feel like there's a classic tradition of like real bands dressing up or putting together bands for Halloween. So this is sort of a Halloween related thing, because there's always seems to be like, a bunch of bands will perform as a different band for Halloween.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering about with the Mac Sabbath.
Yeah.
If that would be considered enough comedy to be like, well, this is considered comedy, satire. So you don't have to. It's satire, so you don't have to pay the royalties.
I would guess so. I saw a video of Jack Osbourne taking his dad, Ozzy Osbourne, to see Mac Sabbath. There was something there where they did a.
This is great.
Yeah, I think that was the kind of thing. Yeah, like they were set up to play like in a practice space or something, and he just brought in the real Ozzy.
I could just see him clapping, like really, like that old man Ozzy clap, like, oh, this is great, boys. This is great. It's great.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah,
I love emotional Ozzy. I love when he would talk on. I mean, I feel like I heard a couple like when he would come on Howard Stern, like whatever 20 years ago, and he was all like, oh, but they'd ask him about like meeting Paul McCartney, and he would like break down in tears. And he'd be like, oh man.
I've seen the video of Ozzy meeting Paul on the Howard Stern show.
Like, was it actually on the Howard Stern show?
So.
Oh my God. And he's like shaking, and he's just like,
yeah, it was a moving thing.
He's like he's my idol. You know, the Beatles was just, and I just love like, even like right before he passed away and like all those interviews where he's just like, he couldn't have asked for a sweeter guy to like bring metal to the masses.
Oh yeah.
So like this sweet little like, oh man, I'm just here to make people happy, and just trying to love music. And you're like, wait, you're the devil? You're the one that everybody called the devil forever? Come on.
Well, I found a website. Amazing. This is even better. Gig Salad. And then you can type in where you are, and you can book musicians. So you could book these cover bands here in LA.
Wow.
Petty or Not, a tribute to Tom Petty. He's available.
Petty or Not.
He's available for booking.
Wow. Okay.
Rio.
Do they have videos on it?
Duran. Maybe. I don't want to click too much here. I might end up booking one of these bands. I have to throw a show parties or something.
Next week. Yeah. He's like, hey, you're gonna have to take the week off. I have a cover band coming in instead of
I accidentally booked a cover band for my house.
They're supposed to be good.
Yeah, it's only $2,000. Oh, the Ramones. They're a TV theme song band where they just do TV themes. That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's something different.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot that are kind of like of a genre. You know what I mean? Like old, they do like 60s songs or, just
like
general,
cover.
Yeah, the Shagwells. They were a tribute not just to a band, but to a tribute to an era with an Austin Powers theme. They cover 60s Austin Powers. They all look like Austin Powers, the Shagwells.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm in. I mean, I got to imagine some of these bands too that they're covering, like you probably could book the original guys for the same price, right? Like some of it's probably not too far.
Probably.
Off. Oh, here's
Is it giving you prices on how much to
some of
book
them? Yeah, 200 or 2,000 somewhere in there.
Wow, okay.
Johnny Rico is Bruno Mars. Also found the best Leonardo DiCaprio look-like impersonator. I could hire a Leo look-alike. He kind of looks a little like Leo but melted. His face is kind of just a little melty there.
Someone once told me I looked like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Kelter Skelter.
Hey.
Kelter Skelter is a Celtic Beatles tribute band. Like, so the Beatles song with like, this looks like accordion and, mandolin.
That feels like a lot of work.
It's all a lot of work, I guess.
I mean to like we're going to reimagine some of the most popular songs of all time, but we're going to make them into Celtic songs.
These are great. Surfing the Beach Boys tribute for $3,000. You can get these guys. I mean, at this point, but that's the other side of it too. Some of the real bands, like the Beach Boys that we actually saw, the official Beach Boys, it was just Mike Love and a bunch of other assholes. Yeah. It didn't really, I mean, that's practically, a cover band there.
Yeah.
But I think we did get John Stamos though, but I noticed they didn't let John Stamos get a lot of Jumbotron time.
Oh my God.
But
is he the drummer?
He played most of the set. Yeah, I think so. Everyone was kind of, a lot of people walking on and walking off though too. And it was like, wait, who's there now? It was at a LA County fair a couple of years ago.
I feel like John, who's the John that plays with the Grateful Dead now?
John Mayer.
Yeah. I feel like John Mayer playing with the Grateful Dead is a bigger move than John Stamos playing with the Beach Boy. With the Beach Boy left, the one left.
I mean, it's the kind of thing too. It's like, it's sort of, again, maybe like close to worship bands. It's this sort of thing. Like if we all believe, if you believe that that's the Beach Boys, if you have enough faith and don't ask enough questions and just don't ask any questions, you could say you saw the Beach Boys,
just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Just because it says a Beach Boy on the flyer doesn't mean you didn't see them all.
Yeah.
They're all there in spirit.
It's great. Oh, the Police Cars. They're a Police Cars tribute band, looks like.
Oh my God. That's good.
Right?
The Police Cars. That's a good, it should be called Tom Petty in a police car. And you get all three of those bands at the same time. Would be great.
That's great. Oh, okay. Rated X is a cover band of X, the punk band X. Cheapest Trick. The Cheap Trick cover band. Cheapest.
Remember when I was telling you last time that I shot photos of Melissa Etheridge and that thing? Cheap Trick also played at that inside of a little warehouse, and there were like 250 people.
That sounds great.
And it was fucking awesome.
This is the real Cheap Trick. Yeah, they're amazing.
Oh yeah, all of them. I mean, I imagine it's all the same.
I think the drummers, Bunny Carlos isn't on drums for a bunch of years, but I think it's Rick Nielsen's the guitar player's son, I think, is on drums.
Oh yes, so it's exactly what. And it was so good. And it was, his whole thing is that he has like a huge fishbowl full of picks, and he just throws picks out the whole time. Great. And he threw like 2,000 picks out. But like he would just get, he would get a handful of picks, and he would be noodling, and then he would like have picks in his hand, and he would go to throw them, and like 40 picks would fly out at the same time.
That's amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
Oh wait,
I loved it.
Now what about this one? The legendary pot roast. It's going beyond just Meatloaf.
Meatloaf?
The legendary pot roast is the only Meatloaf band that's also a tribute to Jim Steinman. Okay.
Who's Jim Steinman?
I think he was the guy that wrote some of the songs for Meatloaf.
Pot roast.
The legendary pot roast. All right.
Wow. I like to put the legendary. I like that they would put the legendary in there.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Maybe I'm amazed is the name of the band. It's maybe you're a Paul McCartney tribute band. Maybe you're not. Wow. Maybe. System of a Clown. Here we go. A madcap tribute to System of a Down. All the power and authenticity, but performed by a crazy band of clowns.
This shows so much human ingenuity.
Oh, again, yeah.
Like this, I would be willing to bet there's more creativity and ingenuity in these ideas than there are in the original ideas of the bands.
Wow.
Like how could we do because System of a Down is already, like, the music is already insane. Like, who's going to see? I mean, I am a System of a Down fan, but I think, like, who is going to see like a tribute band of System of a Down live? That's such a weird. I can't think of where that would happen, especially dressed as clowns.
Stone Temple Drivers, the Stone Temple Pilot Band.
Stoned? Are they Stoned Temple Drivers?
No, just Stone. Yeah,
oh,
they missed that one.
I was going to say I have seen a Ramones cover band in Spokane. There was a Ramones cover band that were called the Romaines.
Oh, there we go.
I
wonder if they're in the book. I wonder if Mark interviewed them.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And this was and it was when I had friends that were playing in some garage bands up there. And they opened up for them. So there was like the Romaines, but I think the Romaines were like the closers. And then was this band The Pills, which was great from Moscow, Idaho.
Okay.
And then I don't think they were on this show, but they used to play with The Makers. Do you remember this band?
This sounds familiar.
There's a band called The Makers.
Yeah.
They were from Spokane until they got kicked out of playing every venue in Spokane, and so they had to move to Seattle. They actually had some really good records. They were on In the Red.
Oh, okay.
In the Red. Like big garage rock.
That's a classic
super
story.
Cool.
We had to move cities because we got band from all the other places.
But it was pretty legit. He used to just get in feet, he had like his leather gloves on and he had his like beetle boots and the tight pants. And I mean, they had a song called Tight Pants, This was in the mid to late 90s.
Okay.
This would be like 96.
That's earlier on the curve of the garage rock revival.
So they were like in that wave of 90s garage rock post grunge, like right kind of at that same time of Seattle was happening and all of that. And but they legitimately, like, people would go up to the front of the stage and they'd like kick them in the face and stuff. So but I think they were often too, they were playing at like Ichabod's, which is a big venue / bar in Spokane, but it was also like a cowboy bar. So that they'd have all these punk bands play there and there'd just be all these old like cowboy Spokane dudes just like, it's fuck you. And then, and kids would be like, well, that's our guy.
Those are guys. Wait,
get that guy up here so I can kick him in the face.
I have a couple more Ramones cover bands here now. Okay, the Sedated, described as the ultimate Ramones experience. The Rockaways, that's good. There's Southern California.
That makes sense.
Band. The Morones, like morons.
The Maroons.
Yeah, the Maroons. They're from a high energy tribute band from Orlando, Florida. That's pretty good. The Hormones.
Okay.
All girl tribute band that delivers raw power and energy of the Ramones. The Ramonas. Like that. I think Mark mentioned that in his interview. The Ramonas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Ramones, RAW, a New York-based tribute band.
The Ramones. Okay.
Yeah. And then I Want to Be Sedated, UK Ramones tribute. Okay, that's pretty good.
All right. Feels good.
Yeah. Oh, then I posted a couple things on the Instagram too this last week. Sleater Kinney, or the Carrie Brownstein and Corinne and Fred. Yeah, they just did a Ramones cover thing on Halloween. So it was apropos.
I saw that. So good.
Yeah. Right.
So good. And they oh my God, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, to continue with my theme of stopping halfway through the podcast to listen to music that I haven't listened to in a while. When he brought up the Saints from Australia.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Saints, I swear I've listened to the Saints. And I put them on and was like, I knew the first, whatever the popular song is. I can't remember it right now. This first on the list.
Yeah.
Spotify. I was like, oh yeah, I know this. And then I had it on just playing all the songs for the last 2 days in my car. And I'm like, this is so good. I'm so late to the party that I think like I needed to be like, when I was younger, I don't know, punk didn't get, like, it was kind of metal and classic rock, whatever. And punk to me was kind of like, I didn't get it because it felt so otherworld, like something that was happening somewhere else, that I'm like, I don't think I know what they're talking about. And I don't have anything like to base any of this like anger and frustration and like all of that on. I don't know. It never hit me until I was a little older. And then I could look back and go, oh, I get it. Okay. I was just kind of like whatever, suburban Spokane kid. But then when I listen back to that now, and even like Black Flag and stuff, I'm like, oh, right. Okay. I should have gotten into this when I was like 16. This would have hit a lot harder back then than me driving to work listening to the Saints for 3 days in a row. Oh, these are really great songs. Boys, you sure got a lot of energy over there.
Well, some of that stuff too, it was discovered in the underground, or there's a specific context for some of those bands, and I think they've gone through waves of like, oh, this is the cool band that no one had heard of, or it was discovered, from rocks, from record stores. Wow.
Yeah. And I think even when I was younger, I was like, I would hear anything, like even like, I don't know, Agent Orange and DRI and all that stuff. Like I would hear it and it just would go in one ear and out the other. Cause I was like, this just seems, for me as a kid, for wherever I was at that time, I'm like, this kind of seems scary to me a little bit. and I don't have anything. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's this, I love the speed of it. But then I love metal, and then metal just talks about like weird stuff. Like I can get behind that. I can get behind the like, and then the falcon came and descended down upon. That probably comes from me like growing up really religious.
Oh,
I was like, this seems like religious music. Like I can feel this.
There's
I'm like,
context for
this seems kind of like positive, like you could be talking about Jesus doing all this stuff, but you're talking about a huge eagle doing it instead. Like that's cool. That feels good to me. And for some reason, like I feel like punk was just way too real. It was just like fuck the cops, and it was like, whoa, wait, what? I don't. But what? Okay, this seems scary. I'm gonna just go over here. But now I'm like, oh, I feel way more punk now when I'm 50 than I did back then. I'm way more.
Your
Oh my god, I'm so much more angry at the world now than I was back then.
I'm looking at all these pictures of a lot of these cover bands, and I can't help but get the feeling that some of these guys might be dicks. Like, you know what I mean? That there's some kind of weird, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to put this nicely. You know what I mean? Where like you work really hard at something, but you're not great at it, or even if you're great at it, but it's just like the ego kind of goes to your head. Like you are not Bon Jovi. You are in a Bon Jovi cover band called Born Jovi. And you should not be look this sassy in your pictures.
Wait, is it Bjorn Jovi? And they're from Finland?
That would be good. Yeah.
the Finnish Bon Jovi cover band. Yeah, Bjorn Jovi.
Born Jovi. Yeah. What a Purple Stain RHCP tribute. Like these guys should not look this like stoked on themselves. I don't know. Maybe I'm just insecure here.
I've always wanted to look like Flea. Does he have the
he's got a Lakers jersey on.
Oh, but he doesn't have the big pants that are made out of all stuffed animals.
No, but I guess you've got to pick an era. I guess with all tribute bands, you have to pick your era that you're going to be. But that's something like the Ramones. They pretty much look the same for throughout their whole career. Right. Leather jackets, haircuts.
You put one of those wigs on, and you're like in a leather jacket.
There. You're 80% there to being a Ramones cover band.
Even some of those interviews with Johnny, where he's like on Conan O'Brien, and his hair is just like in his face, and his face is the weirdest shape.
He was a unique looking man, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just like so skinny and weird, and he's like, and he just talks like a fish merchant or something. Like, I don't know, but. It just the whole thing was so like kind of fun and childlike. By the way, I never liked the Ramones until I just, again, I would listen to them and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm also I'm still the same way kind of with Kiss. Where I was like, it just seems I don't get into it. Seems like professional wrestling to me. It's like that there's like a thing that everybody
character,
or more of like as a fan, like you have to be in on, like you have to suspend disbelief and kind of be in on the joke or in on the thing, and you have to be in the world. And I think that just never was my thing. But and so I just was like, I don't get it. Like everybody's like, this band changed the world for me, and I never understood it until I had kids.
Oh,
and then we played
through their
the Ramones.
The Ramones made
just them and how quickly they like loved the songs and how quickly they like knew the words, and which is problematic when you're playing like Beat on the Brat with a baseball bat or whatever. And you're like, whoa, okay, we're gonna we'll fast forward through that one. But that how much they were like, play the Ramones, and it would just like, and I was like, oh right. Got it. This is like 50s music sped up. It's like bubblegum, kind of that era of like, no, we're playing something that's really catchy and really fun, and we just we gave it a character as a band, and we're sticking with it. And that was just it was kind of, but it's so 50s and 60s, like Grease or like bubblegum. I mean, whatever, they worked with Phil Spector and all of that, and the whole thing of like, we're trying to make these like these catchiest bubblegum kind of type songs, but punk. And then I just never got that when I was young. Like it just never made sense to me until I had kids. And now I'm like, oh,
that's
I love
so funny.
band.
Yeah, I think there was a context for that sort of 70s punk sort of stuff, or proto-punky things that I was not in high school. I was not. I remember I got like the greatest hits. It's also the omnipresence and how like revered they seem. You know, when I was like my own kind of like rebellious punk, I was like, this, if you can buy this shit at the mall, it's not punk. You know what I mean? Like the Misfits or the Ramones. You know what I mean? By the 90s, they already seemed fairly commodified and not necessarily scary or subversive or transgressive in any kind of way. But I was listening to Velvet Underground like that, and Lou Reed, like that felt scarier or weirder or like more, I don't know, punk to me. You know, as a kid in the 90s, hearing Lou Reed sing slowly about doing heroin versus, but then
like less catchy.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's a lot of pop hooks and all that stuff too. But but it took me till I got a little bit older and could kind of understand the context and not necessarily have to have everything be so like subjectively like made exactly for me and hit right in my, just right down the middle, where I could kind of widen my scope and be like, oh, okay, I get there's a place for this and there's a place for this, and then until I really fell in love with it. And again, like it kind of, I think in writing songs and touring and making records, like in the thick of it with all the no age stuff, I definitely like found a new gear for the love of the Ramones and things like that, where it was just like, oh, the simplicity, it's like looking at like minimalist art or something, or like, modern and kind of thing. Designers like, there's nothing in it. It's like, I know, that's the beauty of it. Like how catchy and how poppy and how hooky can it be on like in the most stripped down form of it. You know what I mean? There's something so inspiring as a songwriter, as somebody writing punk music, that like you take it inside out and you kind of look at it all and you're like, that's it. That's all that's just four pieces. There's four notes, but they created a whole genre. They like created a whole world out of these like, basic shapes. If you just take a circle and a square and a triangle, all of design was in these three shapes. You're like, what? And you're like, okay. Well, like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, I want it to be kind of ripped up and half falling off the page, and I want to break all the rules. Like, well, maybe you don't have to break all the rules. Maybe you have to understand the rules first, and then you can break them, which I think came later. I had to sort of get confident enough in my own shoes as a punk or as a guitar player or whatever, to kind of go back and unpack those things. Like, oh, okay, they're simple, and that's part of the beauty of it, and again, that's just what makes it so fun, because it is so accessible and it's so straightforward. And then you find the stab, or like it's in the margins sometimes, or it's not necessarily subversive, but it's the stick in the eye is in the subtleties of things sometimes. How they are understanding, reading more about them and seeing more films about them. The end of the century film's incredible. It really breaks down the whole career and the whole narrative and biography of Joey and Johnny, and the KKK Took My Baby Away being about right-wing Johnny, the guitar player taking the singer's girlfriend and moving to California, and just those little moments like, ooh,
oh wow, I didn't know that.
That's fucked up. He wrote a whole song about how the KKK took his baby away as a diss to his lifelong, guitar player friend, being a Reagan loving, right-wing person. But even that, Johnny's whole like right-wing thing was sort of a poke in the eye to the punk, to the liberal sort of left punk sort of thing. Like in his rock and roll induction ceremony, he says, "God bless President Reagan, God bless President Bush," and then walks off. That was the
and that's it.
That was
Johnny.
All
he said?
I think so. There's minimal to that, and then Dee Dee's was great. Was like, I'd like to thank me for all the great music I wrote, and I'd like to thank me for playing everything, and I'd like to thank myself. Oh, not to forget, I'd like to thank me. Okay, bye.
It's incredible. I love a good like middle finger rock and roll Hall of Fame speech.
So good. I know there was one last
Eric
night. I didn't
Erlandson. No. Sorry, a different Eric. The guitar player from Rush. What's his name? It's Eric also, right?
Geddy Lee.
No, Geddy Lee is the
bass player.
The bass player.
I'm spacing.
Yeah, but when they got it, he just went up and was like, blah, 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 blah,
Alex Lifeson.
blah. Alex
yeah,
Lifeson,
yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
He's like, blah, 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 but for like a minute. And then he walks away.
That's it.
And I'm like, oh, wow. I didn't know that
They're so
he was that punk.
So bratty.
This is good. But he was basically like, you guys never liked us.
Yeah.
You guys
still don't.
You
like
guys
us.
never gave
Fuck
us
off.
a good review. You never gave us anything. I'm like,
why am
like,
I going to even take
sure,
this serious?
like, this is great, but like,
fuck off.
Go eat one.
Yeah. Well, even like with the Ramones, there was that song 53rd and 3rd, you know, and when you hear it, you're like, okay, I don't know what he's talking about. But even that, it's like written by Dee Dee when he was like a male hustler, like a male prostitute, when he was so strung out on dope that he would sleep with men for money. And the whole song is about that, you know, waiting on the corner at 53rd and 3rd, trying to turn a trick, 53rd and 3rd, you know, just trying to get out of dope sickness and just doing anything for money. But you know, you don't necessarily, you know, it's not necessarily on face value. Or the other one, Chinese Rocks, that they did, that was a Johnny Thunder song. It's all about heroin, you know, and how it comes from China. It's just like Chinese, like, you know, opium, and how dope. So yeah, I'm living on a Chinese rock. All my best things are in Hawk. You know, I can't own anything because I'm so dope sick.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. I didn't see it. I haven't gone that. I need to watch that movie.
It's great. Yeah, it's called End of the Century. And it's sad and it's amazing. And it's, you know, it's sort of the life of the Ramones wasn't necessarily glamorous or glitzy. You know, I think it really comes off that, you know, they wanted the hits and they did everything they could. I mean, they were on Sire Records, they're on a big record label, and every genre that, you know, sort of came up and was built, you know, after them, they never really succeeded, you know, in their time. I think it was only, you know, posthumously, you know, after they broke up and died and stuff, that the legend became, you know, the respect came later.
Right. I mean, it's like the Iggy Pop thing. It was like when he wasn't as big as he is now until the mid 2000s. Like, he was obviously big in the 70s, but and he would be on Dick Cavett or whatever, but it was like, it was this underground, like, oh, this is the guy that does records with David Bowie and is in the New York scene and all this stuff. But him actually like being super respected and like as a musician, or that people, like tens of thousands of people would show up to shows, wasn't until like the mid 2000s. Like, I have photos of him at the second Coachella playing at 3:00 in the afternoon at an empty stage.
Heartbreaking.
Which is
fast forward 10 years, and then it's, you know,
10 years, and he's like, and Mike Watt is playing in the Stooges, and they're like bringing in, you know, 20,000 people are coming to watch, or 10,000, whatever, on some of those tours, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. And that happened when he was like 65, 70, probably. I mean,
well, that was
that's a long time to stay alive to get to finally like receive your dues,
especially for him living the life he lived.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, it's a great movie. End of the Century is really good. I also read I've read a few of the books too, but the Johnny Ramone one, Commando, is really interesting because you get you get his sense, like he wasn't really writing songs. Like Dee Dee wrote a lot of the songs. And so Johnny was sort of the taskmaster, or it comes off as the bad guy of the group, you know, but it's the same sort of way where he's probably responsible, or not probably, he is responsible for their success and for keeping it together. You know, if it wasn't for him with the sort of the hyper focused motivation and work ethic that he willed that band, the Ramones, to be what it was, that, you know, I mean, the costume, you know, or the costume, or, you know, the everyone wears the same thing, the simplicity of it all, the songs, the touring, the never ending touring, and just everything he did. It was really like him sort of being a dick to everyone else and sort of running a tight ship like that. And similar to like a Gene Simmons, you know, kind of way where you're like, yeah, I don't know if you're the greatest guy, but you look back and you go, well, there's a reason that your band was more remembered or more revered or more respected or even just known at all versus all these other bands that were of the same time. because I guess
Right.
Joey had extreme OCD and other mental and emotional issues where he couldn't leave the house. They show him trying to like leave for tour, and he's counting the steps and touching everything
Oh,
so many
Jesus.
times where he couldn't even get in the
Wow.
car. And then and then Dee Dee's fucked up and all these other and then drummers, they went through drummers. So it is interesting. I think they're a fascinating band and definitely something that, should be studied. Anybody that plays music or is interested in that world. I mean, there is no end to the Ramones fandom that you can go down. It really is interesting. And I mentioned it in my intro too last week, the Monty Melnick book, On the Road with the Ramones, is incredible because he was their tour manager, but he also sort of just kept them alive or kept them going on the road. And he just has so many great stories and so much ephemera and so many great photos and backstage passes and just candid shots of them on the road that it really paints that cooler picture, of them as people and just how insane and different all their personalities were, and that it all fit as one band.
Well, and they were always always fighting and everything, right?
Well, yeah, because they were so.
That was always the story too, because they were always so different that it was always just fighting constantly.
Yeah, exactly. But they knew they needed each other for their success, so it was this sort of like, challenge at all times for them to sort of figure out how to get along well enough to still be in the band and make music and make records. But I got the sense too that it seemed like, and I'm always fascinated with this too, like where people, what is the goal of it all? What's it all about? Like, when is it,
right?
But I got the sense that Johnny, the guitar player, that he had a number in mind. Like he wanted to make X amount of money, whether it's $1 million or whatever it was. And then once he made that amount of money and had that in the bank, as like a savings account or a retirement fund, then it was done. And then it was over. It's
really?
It
was like a business. It was like a laundromat.
Yeah. He wanted to like have so much in the bank, and then he ended the band. And at that point too, by the end, it was only Johnny and Joey, the two that hated each other the most, guitar and singer, because you had CJ, and I guess Marky counts as, he was the second and fourth drummer, he's sort of second and fifth drummer. He was in obviously for a long time, but in terms of original members, it was just the two of them that hated each other the most. So when it was done, it was probably bittersweet for them. But there's a great concert film of that too. They played it at the Avalon. What's called the Avalon? It was the Palace. Then they had they did have like Eddie Vedder came out, and like Lars from Rancid came out, and they had people come up on stage and play with them. But it was right at the like 2000 or 2001, whenever they broke up. And it was really at the height of just like, the yeahs were the new thing, or like the Strokes were happening, all this stuff. And it just, you couldn't, like, these crusty Ramones at this age getting up there. Like, I just remember thinking at the time, like, wow, this is legendary, but also just what strange timing, you know what I mean? Where they didn't know how to fit into that. So they never got that old man sort of one last tour sort of thing. It was just grinding it out. They really,
because they were touring the whole time. Like they never had enough money to relax.
Yeah. But I think that also led to like maybe questionable creative decisions, because they just needed to make, their record, The Acid Eaters, was like their like psychedelic record, but it sort of seemed, and weirdly, like they were trying to keep with the times of things, and maybe not the most elegant ways these things went. But I don't know.
Tough, man. Creativity and age. It's hard to make them conjoin as a wonderful twin.
And keep it together the whole time. But I see Johnny's wife, the one that dated Joey and then dated Johnny and married Johnny. She's around LA. She's
really?
around. I see her I've seen her at parties. I mean, we just went to this film premiere a couple of weeks ago, and she was there, and she has this young boyfriend, kind of guy. And it's the kind of thing where, like, I would love to talk with her, but I also, don't want to bother. It's that thing of celebrity. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't want to bother this woman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she always looks elegant and always very, very much stands out. She's, kind of smaller, shorter with bright orange hair, and wears these like capes, like sparkling kind of sequined capes, and like 60s go-go boots and little mini skirts and things.
That tracks.
And yeah, it's wild. But she commissioned or licensed or whatever a great kids book called Counting with Johnny, and it's about like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
It's like counting to 4 with Johnny Ramone. And I got that for the kids when they were little. And it's like 4 bottles of Yoo-Hoo, 4 Monster posters, 4 guitar picks, 4, baseball cards. Like he's, I don't know. There's something of his contrarianism. He, again, kind of like the earliest version of trolling, like as a troll. Johnny Ramone is in that world of there.
Yeah. Well, and I think I said Johnny earlier when I met Joey too about his interviews.
Oh yeah.
And like, and I think that the other side of that and the kind of genius of the Ramones, or whether they knew it or not, was that like, I think if you didn't have that like tall, skulking, awkward, always looking like he's uncomfortable, but with kind of the slow wit of like the punk wit, or the like I don't care kind of laissez-faire, like blah, like I don't know, man, that kind of vibe with him, but also the fact that he was really funny and that he was willing to always go on to these interview shows. Like he would be on the like as a celebrity. I think that them, like you said, that they actually didn't. There's like the punk that is like, whatever, we're gonna do our own thing and DIY, and we don't care about this mass media, whatever. And then there were those bands who grew up in the 50s and the 60s when that wasn't a bad thing. Like to be on television was cool. It wasn't like, oh, the man and all that stuff. And so the fact that they also had this kind of weird, awkward front man who was also funny and lovable and super weird and weird looking and weird, like the whole thing was like, oh, that makes the music that much more interesting.
Oh, totally. No. And they went for it. I mean, again, there's probably a lot of like correlations or like, parallels with Kiss, in that kind of way where they were very much like cartoon characters. They like were characters on stage, but they also had just unstoppable ambition and wouldn't, say no to anything. They did all kinds of things and they were excellent at branding and that kind of marketing of themselves. They had the great film Rock and Roll High School, was their film.
Right.
And it's incredible. I remember watching that even before I liked them as a band and knew that I remember I was such a fan of movies and stuff. I remember watching that, and it's the kind of thing where it's just I fell in love with them as characters more than I even fell in love with the music. And that whole movie is hilarious. And again, just nothing but awkward. And the main character, PJ Souls, the actress, her name is Riff Randall, and I was like, hey, I'm like Riff Randall. Riff Randall. She's I'm the number one Ramones fan. I'm Riff Randall. And
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, that's funny.
It's great.
It really brings up that idea of Kiss and also like Phantom the Beatles.
Yeah, totally. Like
the Beatles making their movies.
Playbook. I mean, the Beatles obviously they were influential to everyone, but this next kind of like deep New York rooted bands that
they were like the Evil Beatles.
Yeah, that's a good band name. Evil Beatles.
Evil Beatles.
Hello.
I feel like
Evil Beatles.
They're like, no, you're not, because we are suing you.
We just have little goatees on, like the evil Spock.
We're like, well, we actually spell it like the bug.
Yeah.
Unlike beat. We're not doing a play on words, though.
And that's, the Beatles factored into the Ramones thing. You know how the Ramones got their name? The Ramones, the story? Oh.
No.
So Dee Dee was such they're all Beatles fans, but Dee Dee especially was such a Paul McCartney and Beatles fan, but specifically Paul McCartney, that he saw in a magazine or in a fanzine or an interview that when Paul would check into hotels, his pseudonym was Paul Ramone. That's the word. That's the name he would use to check in to hotels under. And so when they were coming up with their names, that's where Dee Dee suggested they could be called the Ramones, like after Paul McCartney's, fake name that he would check into. So it's so tight.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
I wonder has Paul ever been asked about that? He must have been.
In the last 60 years since the Ramones have been a popular band. It must have come up.
I never did that.
All right.
That's not my name.
Yeah, it's incredible. But also then, like we should be ending it kind of here, wrapping up. But there's the great Johnny Ramone statue at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Did you ever go see that?
Right. Yep.
It's incredible. Mm-hmm. And then and I think Dee Dee is also buried in the same cemetery. I think he has a headstone there, and his is great. His just says Dee Dee Ramone. Okay, I have to go now.
So funny. He
It's
just died
incredible.
recently, right?
Well,
Like really recently.
he was the first of them to go.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but he was around. I mean, he was active, still kind of playing music. And I think he probably played Spaceland, or he played, weird places in LA still through the '90s, into the 2000s, because
Into the 2000s.
He left the group in the '80s, but he would play solo. You'd see it wasn't. Yeah, I never saw him live. I mean, I was definitely too young and not up on what was going on.
Yeah,
but I remember seeing listings for him playing. Like, huh. Would that be cool, or would that not be cool? I couldn't, looking back now,
would
I
that
wish
be
I would
sad?
have seen him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, he was an interesting, person. I'm sure had lots of problems. Almost like a Don Bowles kind of thing. You'd see Don Bowles around, that kind of thing. Of like,
Oh man,
okay, this is
Don
interesting.
Bowles was one of the first week that I moved here. And I had moved here because I only knew Travis and Aaron, and they had, there was always something like, oh my God, someone just called and said this thing's happening, and they're like, hey, we're going to this house party.
Oh yeah.
In the backyard is the backyard thing, and I feel like now, I had no idea about Los Angeles at that point, but I feel like it was probably in Mount Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It was like up on the hill, and there was this band that it was set up, and in this field or a backyard, whatever. And I'm like, what is this band? I have photos of this. I've got to go find them. And it's this band called Death Bread. And I'm like, Death Bread, and the guy's like, the main guy has these big boots on and like this leather gloves with spikes all over, and this kind of little guy, kind of looks like a troll a little bit, and like long blonde hair, and it's like rah, 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 that kind of, and I was like, this is wild. I did not think of this, like LA was going to be like this, and it's this kind of older dudes and everybody, and then Don Bowles was the drummer.
Oh, wild.
I know nothing of the Germs. I don't know, like at that point especially, I was like, I would never have known of like, oh, this is the guy from the Germs. I didn't know. I knew Pat Smear played in the Germs.
Sure, and played.
I knew of the Germs. Yeah, because I knew him from Nirvana, and then I was like, okay, I've heard of the Germs, but I know nothing about. And then someone was like, yeah, that's the drummer of the Germs, and I was like, oh my God, he's a horrible drummer. It was so, like, we were watching, and I was like, what is this? Like, I felt like it was like a performance piece of like just chaos. And then but then I look back, and then I was like, but that was cemented. I feel like that was at least the first month that I'd moved here, and that was cemented in my head as like, oh, LA is nuts. Like that, in the sense that, like, I thought I was coming, it would be like, there's these bands, and this is where Guns N' Roses and like all these things in the industry, and you're like, oh no, it is that, but there's also this whole other, like, this place is crazy. And then from then on for 20 years, you'd see Don Bowles like once a month, like in every show. It's like, oh, it's Don Bowles, okay. Like watching some band or he's like DJing at the Star Shoes, or whatever somewhere was happening at those times. But so funny though.
It's crazy. Oh, one thing I was gonna tell you talked about like slowing bands down or something, or something sound like slowed down or sped up doo-wop. You mentioned it earlier, and I pulled this up. There's a great video going around of this. Is Primus is just, if you slow down Primus, it sounds like Rage Against the Machine.
Yep.
Have you seen? Yeah. Did you send that to me? Yeah. It was great.
I may have sent that to you. And then because the original one was, if you speed up Rage Against the Machine, it sounds like Primus.
Yeah.
And it's 1,000% sounds like Primus. It's amazing.
It's so good. All right. Well, yeah, we should go. Thank you everybody for listening. You can write us hyphenatehalftime@gmail.com. Make sure you like and review and tell your friends that it's worth your time. Come listen and send us your best cover band names. You can write us hyphenatehalftime@gmail.com. Send us your best cover band names, and we'll read them off on the next show.
And feel free to start a cover podcast of this podcast, too, and name it something fun.
Well, especially if your name was Nate, you could just be Hyphenate.
Yes.
Maybe we need our own like cool punk names. Like I could be
Hyph. My name is Hyph, and your name is Nate.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Listen to Hyphenate.
Yeah. Look at our wigs.
Awesome. My favorite. Also, I love the crossover cover band names. And I'm trying to wrap it up, but where it's a band doing something in the style of something else. Have you ever seen these kind of bands? Like Mike Watt for years had a band called the Madonna Bees, where it was like Mike Watt covering Madonna songs, kind of like Chacona Youth. Like I think Watt was successful with Madonna for a long time. But I remember thinking of a great one like it would be Madonica, where it was like Madonna songs, but in the style of Metallica. Papa don't preach. I've been losing sleep.
I feel like that would work.
I'm gonna keep my baby. I don't know. I thought Madonica. I remember having that vision somewhere on tour years ago. I was like, why did I never start that band? If I would have had unending energy.
Listen, there is still time.
Okay. Somebody steal that, or don't steal it, or somebody write me if you want to be in that band with me, Madonica, where we can cover Madonna songs in the style of Metallica.
It's going to be huge.
It'll be great. All right. Bye.